Have you ever wondered what truly lingers in your cat's mind after the moment passes? Cats may appear calm, detached, even forgiving, but beneath that quiet stare lies one of nature's sharpest emotional memories. A cat never forgets how you made them feel. Not the words, not the tone, but the energy that rippled through the air when something broke their trust. This isn't resentment, it's survival. Their instincts record every moment of fear, comfort, and safety to build a map of the world, and of you. That's what makes what you're about to learn so unsettling. There are 10 moments a cat will never truly forgive. Not because they're vengeful, but because each one rewrites their idea of who you are in their fragile world of trust. Call to action. If you love your cat enough to understand their silence, stay until the end, because these truths will change the way you see them forever. Let's begin with the first unspoken wound. The sound of your anger. 1. The sound that shatters safety. When you raise your voice, you might think your cat doesn't care. They just sit there, expressionless, tail flicking slowly. But inside, their heart reacts instantly. A cat's hearing is so sensitive that your shout feels like thunder rolling through their body. Even if it lasts a second, they record it as danger. They won't understand what you said, only how it felt. In their world, sound equals emotion. A loud, sharp tone means unsafe. And once a sound becomes linked to fear, it's carved into memory like a scar. They might not run, but next time they hear that tone, even if you're not speaking to them, they'll stiffen, their body whispering, "It's happening again." Over time, that memory shifts your place in their mind. You're no longer just the safe one. You're the safe one who sometimes becomes dangerous. And that's enough to change everything. 2. The day routine disappears. To a human, a missed meal or late bedtime means nothing. To a cat, it's an earthquake. Their entire sense of security is built on predictability, the comfort of knowing that life repeats itself in familiar rhythms. You wake, they stretch. You feed, they purr. You leave, they wait. It's a quiet contract written through time. Break it too often, and their mind begins to ask questions it can't answer. Will food still come? Will they still return? It's not disobedience when they start hiding or refusing food. It's anxiety. The more uncertain their routine becomes, the more they retreat into self-preservation. You may not notice it right away. They'll still eat, still sleep, still wander around, but something changes in their eyes. That look of easy confidence fades. Predictability isn't boring to a cat. It's love in its purest, most silent form. 3. The smells that drive them away. Cats live through their noses. Every inch of your home, every pillow and wall, carries information that builds their emotional map. Then one day, you bring home a new cleaning spray, a candle, or a perfume, and everything changes. What smells pleasant to you might burn their senses. Artificial fragrances, citrus oils, or strong detergents can be overwhelming. If the scent is tied to you, your hands, your clothes, your skin, they begin to connect you with discomfort. Over time, they may lean away when you approach, flinch when you pick them up, or simply leave the room when you enter. You'll think they're moody. In truth, they're protecting themselves from the smell of danger. To their mind, your scent used to mean home. Now it means pain. A cat's memory isn't built on events but on sensations. The sound of your tone, the vibration of your footsteps, the smell that followed your presence. Change one of those anchors too abruptly, and you shake the foundation of their entire trust. 4. The hug. They never asked for. One of the most misunderstood moments between humans and cats is affection by force. You pick them up because you love them. You squeeze them close because it comforts you. But for them, it's a violation of choice. Cats are creatures of consent. Every time they approach, rub against you, or settle nearby, they're saying, "I choose this." When you take that choice away, holding them tightly, trapping their movement, the message flips. What once felt like connection now feels like control. Their mind doesn't record why you did it. It only remembers how it felt, trapped, helpless, unable to move. That single moment can teach them to hesitate before approaching next time. You'll call their name and they'll pause, calculating if it's worth the risk. It may look like independence, but it's distance born of fear. 5. The moment they stop choosing you. Every small break in trust, every ignored signal, adds another layer to their caution. You may still feed them, Play with them, sleep beside them. But somewhere deep inside, they begin to guard their heart. They won't leave. They'll simply give less of themselves. Fewer blinks, shorter cuddles, more silence. That's how cats protect the only thing they can control, their peace. And if you listen closely, you'll realize something haunting. Forgiveness in a cat isn't given. It's earned, one consistent act at a time. Cats live in a world defined by control, their control. Every move they make, every boundary they set, keeps their fragile sense of safety intact. The moment that control is taken from them, even by accident, something inside them shifts. They don't hate you for it. They simply begin to rewrite what you mean in their world. 6. The touch that crosses their boundaries. Every cat has invisible borders drawn across their body. Some allow gentle strokes along the back. Others tolerate a soft scratch under the chin. But the paws, the tail base, and especially the belly, these are sacred territories. When you reach for those places without invitation, you break a silent code. The belly isn't just soft fur. It's the vault of their most vulnerable organs. Showing it to you is the highest gesture of trust a cat can offer. It means, you're safe enough for me to expose what I protect from the world. But if you betray that moment by touching, even with affection, you send a different message. Your trust was misplaced. They won't attack you out of anger. They'll just remember. The next time they lie on their back, they'll hesitate before showing their belly again. That hesitation is the memory of betrayal. Not dramatic, but permanent. 7. The journey. They fear most. For many cats, nothing triggers deeper panic than the carrier. The sound of the latch, the smell of plastic, the shaking car. It all tells them one thing: danger. You may be taking them for a necessary checkup, but to them, it feels like being dragged from safety into chaos. Now imagine this. You suddenly grab them, shove them into a box, and rush out the door. From your side, it's efficiency. From theirs, it's abduction. They don't understand your urgency. They only feel your tension. And that tension becomes their fear. The real harm isn't the vet visit itself. It's the pattern. If every trip is sudden and terrifying, they'll associate you with that stress. The next time you reach for them, their body stiffens, their tail lowers, their trust wavers. It doesn't have to be that way. Leave the carrier open days in advance. Let them explore it, play inside it, sleep in it. Then when the day comes, they'll walk in by choice, not by force. Respect turns trauma into tolerance. 8. The move that feels like exile. To humans, moving means excitement. A new home, fresh air, new memories. To a cat, it's exile. Everything that defines their world, scent, light, sound, territory, disappears overnight. The walls that once whispered safety now echo with strange smells and unknown shadows. You might think they'll adjust. They will, but at a cost. When you drop them into a new environment without preparation, they grieve. They hide not out of arrogance, but out of confusion. Where did my world go? Why did it vanish without warning? If you've ever moved and found your cat silent, refusing food or hiding for days, that's not attitude. That's heartbreak. They don't understand what happened. To them, you took everything familiar and replaced it with uncertainty. There's a way to ease it. Move their scent first. Bring their blanket, toys, and old bed before the move. Let them explore one room at a time. Let their world rebuild slowly. Because to them, change isn't progress. It's loss, unless you turn it into trust. 9. The pain you didn't see. Cats are born to hide weakness. In the wild, showing pain means inviting danger. That instinct never left them. So, when something hurts, they don't cry. They vanish. They sleep more, groom less, eat differently. And if you miss those signs or dismiss them as just being lazy, the message they receive is harsh. My pain doesn't matter. You never mean it that way, but their emotional logic is simple. When they suffer and you do nothing, they stop seeking comfort. They don't come to you for help anymore. Not because they stopped loving you, but because they stopped believing you'll notice. Catching these silent cries early isn't just medical care. It's emotional protection. When you act quickly, schedule the vet, adjust their food, comfort them, you rebuild their belief in you. You tell them, in their language, you're safe. I'm watching. I care. And that message stays with them long after the wound heals. 10. When presence turns into absence, there's one final betrayal deeper than all others. It's not yelling. It's not moving. It's not even pain. It's absence. For a cat, your presence is their anchor in a world they can't control. When that anchor disappears, whether for a day, a week, or a lifetime, something fundamental breaks. They don't understand words like vacation or boarding. They only understand that the one constant in their world is suddenly gone. And when that happens without warning or preparation, their mind doesn't label it as temporary. It labels it as loss. Some cats respond with silence. Others act out, scratching, urinating, avoiding touch. These aren't bad behaviors. They're grief in motion. If you must leave, prepare them. Leave familiar scents. Introduce the caretaker early. Keep the routine steady. Because to them, love isn't spoken. It's proven through constancy. 1. How memory shapes their trust. Scientists call it associative memory. It's the mind's way of connecting emotion with experience. Your cat doesn't remember that you yelled because you were tired. They only remember the fear. They don't recall the reason you held them too tightly. Only the lack of control. Every positive interaction, a calm voice, a predictable meal, a soft blink, creates a deposit in what behaviorists call the trust bank. But every moment of fear or confusion withdraws from it. The difference between a bonded cat and a distant one isn't love. It's the balance of that emotional account. Here's the hard truth. Cats rarely forgive because their instinct doesn't need forgiveness. It needs safety. Once safety is compromised, the brain writes a single message. Avoid this next time. That message can last years, even a lifetime, unless replaced by something stronger. Consistency. 2. The neurology of emotion. Inside your cat's brain, the amygdala, the same structure responsible for fear in humans, works like a silent alarm. When something frightens them, that alarm doesn't fade easily. It links to sensory details. Your tone, your scent, the color of the room. So, when you raise your voice again, even months later, that memory lights up like a warning flare. Their heart rate increases, their pupils widen, and their instinct whispers, "This sound meant danger before." But here's the good news. The feline brain is plastic. It can be rewired. If the new experiences repeat often enough, the old associations weaken. Softness overwrites fear. Predictability replaces chaos. The brain learns, this feels safe now. You can't erase what scared them, but you can teach their mind that it doesn't have to matter anymore. 3. Rebuilding the fractured bond. When trust breaks, rebuilding it isn't about one big gesture. It's about patterns. Cats don't respond to apologies. They respond to repetition. Speak softly, move slowly, keep the rhythm of their world intact. Don't rush touch. Let them be the one to close the distance. If they hesitate to approach, stay still. If they walk away, let them go. You're not losing their affection. You're showing them that choice still exists. And every time you respect that choice, a piece of trust returns. Imagine it like mending glass. You can't make it flawless again, but you can make it whole. The cracks become part of the story, visible, but no longer painful. 4. The power of scent and routine. To a cat, scent is safety. The smell of home, your skin, their blanket. It tells them, I belong here. When something traumatic happens, reintroducing familiar scents helps them ground again. Rub your hands on their favorite toys before cleaning. Keep their bedding unwashed for a few days after a stressful event. And never underestimate the rhythm of the day, feeding, playing, resting, all at the same times. Routine tells their nervous system that the world is predictable again. When the environment stays calm, their body stops scanning for danger. And when their body relaxes, trust follows. Consistency is your loudest apology. 5. Listening to what they don't say. Cats rarely express affection the way humans expect. Their forgiveness comes in fragments, a slow blink, a head against your leg, a quiet nap in the same room. Those are not small gestures. They're declarations. I still choose you, even after the noise, even after the fear. But listen just as carefully when they pull away. When they pause before jumping on your lap or flinch at your movement. They're not being difficult. They're remembering. That hesitation is history speaking. Your role isn't to force closeness, but to create conditions where they no longer need to hesitate. That's love in their language. Silence filled with trust instead of fear. 6. When healing takes time. Some cats rebuild quickly, others take months. And some, especially those scarred by repeated fear, may never return completely. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you've reached the edge of what their heart can risk again. The goal isn't to erase the past. It's to prove, gently and endlessly, that the future will never repeat it. Cats measure love through safety, and safety is built one day at a time. So keep speaking softly. Keep showing up. Keep choosing patience, even when the silence hurts. Because one morning, when they finally curl beside you again and close their eyes, you'll know the healing worked. Every bond with a cat is built in silence. It doesn't begin with words or end with them. It's formed through patterns, how gently you move, how consistently you return, how predictable your love becomes. But the same silence that builds trust can also hide its disappearance. You don't hear it crack. You just wake up one day and realize your cat doesn't follow you anymore, doesn't blink slowly, doesn't wait by the door. That's how most bonds break. Quietly, unnoticed, and entirely preventable. 1. The language of predictability. To a cat, love looks like reliability. It's the food appearing at the same hour, the voice that never startles, the footsteps that always mean peace. Routine isn't just comfort, it's communication. Every repeated action tells them, you can count on me. When your cat learns that your patterns don't change, their body relaxes. They stop scanning for threats, stop hiding after small noises, stop testing your intentions. That calmness isn't indifference. It's the highest level of trust they can show. The opposite of fear isn't affection. It's predictability. Once your cat knows exactly what to expect, their love deepens without hesitation. 2. Respect as the core of love. We tend to think of love as affection, petting, holding, cuddling. But to a cat, love begins with respect. Every time you stop your hand when they pull away, you're telling them, your comfort matters more than my desire. That small act speaks louder than any gesture of affection. Respect is the currency of trust. It's earned in moments where you could force control but choose patience instead. When your cat knows their boundaries are safe with you, they begin to let down the defenses they've built against the rest of the world. A cat that trusts is a cat that offers love freely, not because they have to, but because they want to. 3. Healing through presence. Many people believe cats prefer solitude, but what they actually crave is quiet companionship. Sitting near them without touching, speaking in a low, steady voice, or simply being in the same room builds invisible threads of connection. You don't have to fill the silence. You just have to stay. To a cat, your stillness says, I'm not leaving. You can rest now. If you've broken trust before, this is where healing begins. It's not in the apology, it's in the waiting. Stay long enough, gently enough, and one day they'll lean back into your presence, not out of curiosity, but out of certainty. 4. The forgiveness. Hidden in routine. Forgiveness in a cat doesn't come with grand gestures. It hides in daily rituals. The shared morning stretch, the sound of a food bowl touching the floor, the quiet nap they take near your feet again. Those are signs that the bond is rebuilding. Don't rush it. Every repetition writes a new message in their mind. The danger has passed. I can trust again. Think of forgiveness not as a single moment, but as a rhythm. One gentle day after another. Every calm tone, every slow blink, every patient pause becomes a brushstroke painting safety back into their world. The masterpiece takes time, but it lasts forever. 5. The promise you must keep. The truth about cats is simple. Once they choose you, they see you as permanent. You are their family, their protector, their constant. That loyalty is rare and fragile. They don't forget when it's broken, but they never stop hoping you'll prove them right again. So promise them this. Never let fear be their memory of you. Never let confusion replace comfort. Be the steady presence they trust even when the world changes around them. That means speaking softly even when life gets loud. It means slowing down when they seem distant. It means showing love not through control, but through patience. Cats don't demand perfection. They crave safety, and safety is something you build every day with quiet devotion. 6. Why it matters more than you think. Your cat's world is smaller than you imagine. You are the center of it. The walls of your home are their universe, and your actions define its gravity. When you're gentle, that universe feels vast and calm. When you're unpredictable, it shrinks into fear. That's why these hidden betrayals matter. Not because your cat is fragile, but because they are faithful. They trust completely. And when that trust is kept, it transforms into something pure. The slow blinks, the soft purrs, the quiet moments where they close their eyes in your lap. Those aren't simple habits. They are signs that your cat has chosen you again and again, even after doubt. And that choice is sacred. 7. The silent reward. When you protect that bond, you won't hear gratitude. You'll feel it. In the weight of their body against yours. In the way they stay longer, breathe slower, blink softer. That silence is their thank you. You'll realize one day that your cat no longer hesitates when you reach out, that the flinch is gone, that they meet your gaze without fear. That's when you'll understand. All the patience, all the quiet care, all the waiting was worth it. Because trust, once rebuilt, doesn't just return. It becomes stronger than before. Call to action. Final. If these words helped you see your cat differently, share them. Somewhere out there, another cat is waiting for someone to understand before it's too late.